Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, comrades and friends, we are officially 3 days into 2026, and Donald Trump here at 5:30 a.m. in the morning has just announced that he has kidnapped the leader of Venezuela. No, you did not hear that incorrect. He literally just kidnapped the president of Venezuela and his wife. Driving Venezuela into this state of emergency now, denouncing this operation as military aggression, and they're currently mobilizing supporters, likely for a military retaliation against the United States, who, by the way, started this, of course. When Donald Trump was like, you know what we need to do? Venezuela stole our oil, and so, because Venezuela stole our oil, which was oil literally from Venezuela. The United States went over, started bombing people, killing people. Over 100 people have been murdered as a result of Donald Trump and his administration. He's going to justify that by saying, well, they stole our oil. They're bringing drugs into our country, this and that, right? No trials, no sanctity towards international law, none of that. Instead, he just starts waging a war on this country here. And now, we are in a situation where he's escalated so far that he's legitimately kidnapped the president of a foreign country, which is just mind-blowing, a sovereign nation. So let's break this down here. What's going on? Well, I want to read you guys this Truth Social post here from Donald Trump, and it says, quote, "The United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention on this matter. President Donald J. Trump." Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, this is bad. This is very, very, very bad. And, a lot of people are coming out and, they're saying this is not acceptable, right? Russia, Cuba, Iran, other international actors here are publicly condemning this action from the United States, calling it a violation of international law and a threat to sovereignty, as it clearly is. And, prior to this, right, the United States has been on the same BS, right? We've been bombing them for, the past month now. This is insane, let alone all the stuff we've done in the past to Venezuela. It's completely unacceptable here. And so I just want to go through, some of the violations to international law here, because this is something that is clear cut. I mean, this is clear as day, right? Somebody needs to step in here and they need to start arresting the leaders of our country, because this is completely unacceptable. First and foremost here, you have, number one, the use of force without a UN Security Council authorization. So under Article 2.4 of the UN Charter, it says military force against another state is prohibited unless there is Security Council authorization or it is a genuine act of self-defense in response to an actual armed attack. Next up here, we have violation of sovereignty. So international law is going to recognize sovereignty as a territorial integrity of states is fundamental, and a military strike or capture of a literal head of state inside another sovereign country without consent or Security Council authorization is generally going to be considered unlawful. Right. Number three, no legal justification for regime removal, even if a state wishes to arrest a foreign leader for criminal actions. Extradition and mutual legal assistance treaties are the recognized legal pathways to doing so under international law. Military action for regime change or arrest is going to lack any legal grounding. And then four, the use of lethal force without legal bias or basis. So the strikes against suspected drug traffickers and recent attacks inside the Venezuelan territory have resulted in deaths. And because they resulted in deaths, human rights and international law experts are going to argue that lethal force in international waters or another state's territory without immediate self-defense justification is going to risk being unlawful and constitute extrajudicial killings. So imagine that, right? Imagine if the United States just started drone striking, a bunch of drug dealers in the United States. I mean, you'd be like, what the actual fuck? That's insane, right? But not only are we doing that, we're doing this in a completely foreign country that we have no business being over there at all, and that's what we're doing. It's ridiculous, right? But somehow, I bet you this man is going to get away with this, right? Starting a war. Again, obviously, we're not going to call it an official war. Again, we start to call these things conflicts these days because for whatever reason. But this is a war. Right? That's what this is, right? I think by all definitions here, a fight between two different sides, and we are the ones who started it. So this is bad. This is a violation of international law. This is not okay. And look, think about if somebody came in and literally kidnapped our president. I mean, might might be a little upset there, don't you think? So relatively crazy, relatively bad stuff. But there's going to be a lot more to come here. I'm curious to see what he's going to have to say to justify this here at 11. I imagine it'll be the same usual BS. It's like, oh, they were doing this and that, blah, 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 which is just unacceptable, right? Like, what happened to America first? What happened to the no new wars president, right? Again, this dude was just bombing nuclear facilities like his first month or two in office. So don't tell me he's not for no new wars. I mean, don't give me that BS at all. And if you say that, you need to go start fact checking your own beliefs and really sitting down and thinking whether or not you like war or you don't, and you want to put America first or you don't, because wasting all of our tax dollars overseas and literally kidnapping foreign leaders for regime change doesn't necessarily sound like that good of an idea to me, especially when we've been down this route before earlier in the 21st century, let alone in the 20th century, all the countless leaders we have assassinated or done regime change for. It's just obviously doesn't lead to good things, but for the United States here, means more money for the military industrial complex, more money for people who get access to those resources, and more people who can get favorable agreements as a result of new leaders being put in power. So you can understand why it happens, but this is not something for the benefit of the average American. And so I think we need to take that in consideration and really check ourselves here. But ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy the video here, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for some more content, and get us to 400 subscribers. And we'll talk to you later. Dr. Ian Phillips. Peace.